And so the other thing is that financial stress isn't limited to a certain income bracket. It's about the perception of finances. It's the perception of financial health. And so if someone perceives or thinks that their finances aren't gonna last, or they're stressed out about finances, then the financial stress comes. It actually has no relationship between what's in the bank or not. Somebody making $1 million a year could be stressed out about finances if they think that that's not enough. And that was one of the things that I thought was really interesting, because I had always thought, well, if I hit this next money milestone, then things will be better. If I hit this next money milestone, then I'll finally have peace. But peace has nothing to do with your financial milestones. Peace has everything to do with you and with your perception, what you're focused on and what you're focused on, and spending time with those that you love and engaging in the things that matter to you. And I thought that that was so interesting, because I know I was, when my kids were really little, I was a workaholic. I was developing a financial course for Essence at the time, and I literally, once I was in labor, I was literally in labor. You know how most people pack like clothes in their hospital bags? I packed a whole laptop. And as soon as I got that epidural, I asked my sister, I was just like, hey, can you hand me my laptop? And I had it on the tray. I was doing work. And so then I had actually finished the vast majority of the course before I went into labor, because I knew that it was gonna come soon. So I finished everything early. And then after I gave birth, I'm literally still, it was probably like 1 or 2 days later, I was still in the hospital. And so we had a conference call. I call in and they're like, wait, why are you on this conference line? I was like, I can join the meeting. It's cool, the kids are asleep, I'm in the hospital, I already gave birth. They were like, if you don't get off this line, we have everything we need from you, go enjoy motherhood. But my perception was, it's like, and I witnessed this growing up. My mom works a whole bunch of hours a week. And so for me, I thought that was normal. I aspired to like have a career like my mom. I was just like, okay, you work 70 hours a week, that's normal. And so that's what I was doing, and I was repeating those patterns. And I was really focused on that next money milestone, and then I would have freedom. And I had to learn that freedom came when I decided to have freedom. Freedom came when I created my financial goals that were aligned with my priorities and the things that I valued most in life, which was spending time with my kids, working with women, teaching Bible study, and teaching about finances. That's what allowed me to have peace. And that's what helped me to reorganize my time. And when I began to reorganize my time, I knew what my priorities were. First, I had to develop my priorities. And once I knew what my priorities were, then I can align my time and my finances to those priorities, which made things a lot less stressful, because at that point I knew what I wanted in life. And money habits also impact our children. I remember one day I was teaching a workshop at the University of Michigan, and I asked the students to raise their hands and said, who manages their money just like their parents did? And about 75% of the people in the room raised their hand. The other 25% decided to manage their money opposite. And so it was interesting, because a lot of the people didn't see health. Some people saw healthy stuff growing up and they ended up having healthy habits. Some didn't see healthy habits and decided that they wanted to they didn't know any difference, and they ended up repeating those habits. I actually have a friend of mine who, he was raised by a single mom, and he's actually a single dad. And he told me one time, it was a number of years ago, he said that when he was growing up, he was constantly facing an eviction threat. His utilities were constantly off. His mom made a great income, but whenever she got paid, she ended up going out shopping, and they went out to expensive restaurants for dinner. And within a few days of her getting paid, they were having shut-off notices, eviction notices. Things were very stressful for them. And he told me that when he became a dad, when he got paid, what do you think he did? The same thing. When he was talking to me, he wanted to do something because now he was dealing with eviction notices. His daughter was dealing with utilities cut off, and he was raising his daughter in the exact same environment that he had raised. And so we have to make a decision about how we're gonna manage our money, because if we don't, it will literally be cycles. And so we have the choice to either have cycles of wealth, cycles of healthy, or cycles of not, right? But I think it just takes a lot of awareness to see that our kids really mimic the things that we do. And so it's just really up to us to be able to show them something happy and something good. And so one of the ways that we can minimize financial stress, I talked about some of the things that you can do from a life perspective, but